very special Over the Culture.
It's March 29, 2020. The NBA, the MLB, the NHL, the NFL, NASCAR, and PGA are all suspended until further notice. Tom Brady is a Buccaneer, and it's the end of the world as we know it. Not because of coronavirus, but Jay Electronica finally released his fucking album. And I know it's been out for a couple of weeks, but hey, we've been gone for about a month now. Gonna go across the lines with the NHL season of 1919, the MLB season of 1994, and this year's season of NBA. And hater appreciation for dumb, dirty dick Donald Trump. Across the country and around the world, across the street and around the corner, this is Over the Culture. This is Over the Culture podcast, where you get to hear my spin on things I like music, sports entertainment, movies, TV shows, and your mom. She wants to quarantine and chill. You also get to hear about things I don't like fat assholes and the American government fucking with my money. It's my money and I want it now. What's up, everybody? I am your bastard of ceremonies, Alfred Hugecock, Alex Treblack, Pat Stayblack, One Gig Kid, Reefer Sutherland, Petty Winslow, Petty Pendergrass, the Prince of Petty, Sir Blunt Smokington, the most interesting blurred in podcasting, Steve G. And this is Over the Culture, man.
What's up, nigga?
What's going on, my people? It's been a while. It's been a minute. It's been a month since I've had an episode of Over the Culture. What's going on, Steve? You still doing your podcast? Where you been, man? You haven't done them in the last couple of weeks. Where you been? At your mom's house. Will you forgive me? No? Okay. Well, I've been working a lot. I was working a lot. And the refinery that I work at, we shut down last Tuesday. Governor Mike DeWine of the great state of Ohio, he had a statewide shutdown at 11:59 last Monday, and all of the non-essential businesses have closed. Only thing that's open is the healthcare, food places, fast food, pigs, anything dealing with the law, apparently. So there's that, and I've been tired. The weeks that I haven't produced an Over the Culture podcast, I've been tired. That job's been kicking my ass, and this sounds like an excuse, and maybe it is, but it is what it is. I get home, and I'm just done. I come home, I shower, and I just drop until it's time to go back to work. And on my off days, I sleep a lot. I sleep, and I binge watch TV. Well, Steve, if you got time to binge watch TV, you can practice another episode of Over the Culture. Produce another episode of Over the Culture. And to that, I say eat a dick. And you're also right. I could and I should. Stevie, this is what you like to do. You need to make more of your time. And I've been saying that. Time management. I'm going to get it right one day. Luckily, all's good in my neighborhood. No symptoms, no signs of coronavirus. Although they say that if you don't have signs or symptoms, you could still have it. So I'm doing what the government tells me and staying the fuck away from people, as if they need to tell me twice. Something I've been practicing most of my life, most of my adult life. Staying the fuck away from human beings who, in my opinion, are the real virus. I've been dealing with people for 30 plus years now. Somehow I make it. Somehow I cope. I don't know how I do it. How do you do it? Dealing with fucking people. Yes. Still, March 29th, 2020, no signs, no symptoms. We're still ticking. We're still breathing. Everything's good in the neighborhood. However, my tablet, my precious tablet that I've been using to produce segments, to produce skits for this great show, Over the Culture, it might have coronavirus. I think it just dropped on me. I took it back to Verizon, had it looked at, and they couldn't look at it because it's so obsolete. The tablet is so ancient. It's so extinct. They don't even make it anymore. They don't carry it anymore. They don't distribute it. So I'm just freeballing it. I'm freestyling an episode of Over the Culture. Although I will admit, not having my tablet makes it a little bit harder. I kind of rely on that tablet. I might have to say RIP to that tablet. RIP. RIP. But I'm going to do everything I can to resuscitate this motherfucker. When the non-essential businesses start opening up, I'm going to see if I can pump some life back into this damn tablet instead of getting laughed out of the stores. We don't even carry that anymore. Shut your ass up. So there's that. Work was taking a lot of my time. I lost my tablet, my trusty, formerly trusty tablet. And also, the last couple of weeks at work have been even harder because my coworkers have been dropping like flies. They've been getting sent home. Some of them have been no calling, no showing. Some of them have been calling in. Some people just don't want to take that risk. And I don't blame them. But me, I don't call in. I need to make my bread. I got bills to pay. I need my bag. I've been coming in faithfully. The days I'm scheduled. I come in to a shorter staff, a smaller staff. And it makes it harder on the people who come into work. And the job is already physically demanding. So losing 1 or 2 or 3 people on an already small staff, on a skeleton crew, working overnight, trying to stay up for 12 hours straight from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., that takes a toll on you. Puts calluses on your feet, puts calluses on your hands. It's more flying magnesium coming your way, flying schmegma. Schmegma! Yes. But I did it all the way up until shutdown. So now, got a little bit more free time, and it's a must that we kick out a new episode of Over the Culture. And I apologize to my cultivating cultivists who've been salivating at the tongue, at the mouth, like Pookie. Y'all got some more of that Over the Culture? Yes, we do. Today, damn it. March 29th, 2020. And a lot has transpired since my last episode. We have no NBA, no MLB, don't know anything about the NFL draft, if that's going to happen. We might not have a WrestleMania. So WWF, WWE, they've been having events with no audience. And that's just ridiculous. The show must go on, damn it. Vince has gotta run that machine. Every Monday, we gotta have a Raw. Every Friday, gotta have a SmackDown. And this is WrestleMania, the granddaddy of them all. This is his pinnacle event. Every year, everything is planned around this event, this annual event, for the last 36 years. WrestleMania 36 is up in the air. Roman Reigns, one of the top contenders of the company, has already announced that he's dropping out of the event because he just beat leukemia. He just beat leukemia a year ago. So he's going to be a little bit more susceptible to what's in the air. And they say that coronavirus is an airborne disease. Who knows? Some others may follow suit. And Roman Reigns, he was scheduled to have a match with Goldberg. So no Roman Reigns. They're just going to cancel the match. And this was a title match. No sports. We can't kick it. Can't go to the bars. Not that I really care to go to the bars. But it would be nice to have a peach margarita from 4 Points. It's good to have that option. It's good to get some wings. Some chicken wings from Commons. Some of the greatest wings in Sandusky, Ohio. The greatest spot for chicken wings in Sandusky, Ohio. So people don't know what to do with themselves. No March Madness this year. Maybe it'll be a July Madness, June Madness. This has never happened to where they just canceled the whole fucking tournament. No opportunities to see Duke get upset this year. College basketball fans are upset. NBA season is just suspended, just like that, man. You just gonna do this just right here in March, just up. And ever since then, everybody's going live. Everybody went live on Instagram, from LeBron James to Tom Hanks to just about every celebrity with an Instagram account went live. I want my NBA season back. I wasn't done watching the Golden State Warriors struggle. I wasn't done watching them suffer. Fucking coronavirus. Coronavirus is probably a Warriors fan because they didn't want to see LeBron get that 4th ring. And goddamn it, you all know he was going to get it. He was going to get that 5th MVP too. The Lakers haven't been in the playoffs in quite a while now. And the Lakers this year look strong with the addition of AD, Bron and the Brow and Bron. With a great supporting cast. Dwight Howard rejuvenated himself. He wants to play basketball again. They're looking like a championship team. And the Warriors did not. And the coronavirus fucking ruined that. You want to infect Tom Hanks? He's a fucking first ballot Hall of Fame white guy. One of my favorite white people. Tom Hanks and his wife? What the fuck? Coronavirus, if you were a person, you'd probably look like Donald Trump. All fat and sloppy. Speaking of fat people, I think me and Billy, for those of you who listened to my last episode, I think me and Billy have come to a truce. An unspoken truce, but I got my eye on your fat ass, Billy. I never said Billy was a bad person. I just said he's a fat, lazy ass. And that never sits well with me. At any job I have, every job I have, I give 110%. So if I see somebody not doing even half of that, but yet they want to pull rank and pull this whole seniority bullshit over my head, nah, man, we got instant beef. But because of everything that's transpired, me and Billy have had to work a little bit closer. He's had to get his fat ass on the deck and actually put in some work, damn it. No more riding around the tow motor for you. You're going to have to get up here and sweat. And don't squeal your ass away, because we need you on the deck, motherfucker. So it's not like it's been a voluntary decision like, oh, I need to pull my own weight. Like, no, man, they told him to get on the deck and start working. But like I said, I got my eye on you, Billy. I pulled your fucking card. Don't pull any more shit with Steve. You might try to pull that shit with some other fucking new guy, but not this one. But for now, Billy, me and you's gonna be alright. I think. So Jay Electronica finally released this album after being under a rock for the past decade or so. It's called A Written Testimony, and the Steve G rating is 5+ mics. It's called Written Testimony, and it's featuring Jay-Z. Jay-Z just coming out of the woodwork with bar after bar after bar. A Jay-Z I haven't seen in quite a while now. And I'm loving it. I've been listening to a lot of Jay Electronica, a lot of Benny the Butcher, a lot of Yo Gotti, aka Yo Gotti. the GOAT of Memphis, and Lil Baby. I've been criticizing all these new age lil nigga rappers for years, and here I am enjoying the tunes of a guy named Lil Baby. But it's a great album. Lil Baby has been impressing me with his features, his guest star appearances, and his latest album, My Turn, is worth a listen. And I've also been listening to a lot of that Priest of Hiroshima. Put that on your playlist. Get that on your Spotify. Put that on your iTunes. One of the best things that your mom doesn't know about yet. So tell a phone, tell a friend, tell your mom, tell a podcaster about Priest of Hiroshima. You better ask somebody. So now with this coronavirus, this shutdown, people having to stay at home, it gives us a lot of free time to binge watch TV, a lot of Netflix, a lot of Hulu, a lot of whatever, a lot of movies. And this past week, a popular trending show on Netflix, it's called Tiger King. And it's ratchet as fuck. It is mostly about a guy in Oklahoma named Joe Exotic who runs like a petting, breeding zoo for tigers. And it's about his life as a tiger breeder and trying to keep his business afloat from rival tiger breeding companies. Carol Baskin is a quote unquote a tiger rescuer, if that's even a thing or whatever. She calls herself a tiger rescuer, and her MO for years was to have Joe Exotic's company shut down. Well, hilarity, tragedy, and horror ensues, to the point where Joe Exotic tries to put a hit on Carol Baskin. Joe Exotic is now in jail, and that's how the series ends. And he's an eclectic, eccentric person. There's mullets, there's missing teeth, there's meth mouth, there's gay shit, extremely gay shit. It's just a hot ass mess. It's a train wreck, and us Americans love reality TV. We love watching those train wrecks with a front row seat and a bucket of popcorn. So if you haven't seen Tiger King, it's worth a watch. I'd watch it with the lights on because it's kind of scary. It's not meant to be scary, but the elements of it are pretty frightening. So a lot of things have happened since my last episode. We lost some great people. We lost Kenny Rogers. We lost Janet Dubois of Good Times fame. Janet Dubois, who was in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. Wayans Brothers. She sang the theme song to the Jeffersons because she was a bad motherfucker. May you rest in paradise, Janet Dubois. May you rest in paradise, Kenny Rogers. They say he died of natural causes. Apparently he knew when to fold them. Too soon? Today in sports history, in 1940, Joe Louis KOs Johnny Paycheck in 2 rounds to retain the heavyweight boxing title. In 1941, the 3rd NCAA men's basketball championship is held. Wisconsin beats Washington State 39-34. Badgers forward John Kotz is named tournament's most outstanding player. In 1966, Muhammad Ali beats George Chuvalo in 15 rounds for the heavyweight boxing title. In 1973, Dave Cowens wins the NBA MVP. In 1976, the 38th NCAA Men's Basketball Championship is held. Indiana beats Michigan 86-68, the first time two teams from the same conference playing the title game. In 1982, the 44th NCAA Men's Basketball Championship is held. North Carolina beats Georgetown 63-62. Tar Heels future Hall of Fame small forward James Worthy is named Tournament Most Outstanding Player. And he had a guy on his team by the name of Michael Jordan. I don't know if you heard of him. In 1984, the NFL Baltimore Colts moved to Indianapolis. 1985, Wayne Gretzky breaks his own NHL season record with his 126th assist. 1987, the 6th NCAA Women's Basketball Championship is held. Tennessee routs Louisiana 67-44. Lady Volunteers guard Tanya Edwards is most outstanding player. In 1989, the first Soviet hockey players are permitted to play for the NHL. In 1994, Coach Jimmy Johnson resigns as head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. In 1996, Cleveland Browns choose a new name, the Baltimore Ravens. In 1997, the first game at Turner Field is played. The Atlanta Braves beat the New York Yankees 2-0 in an exhibition. On that same day, the 17th NCAA Women's Basketball Championship is held. Tennessee beats Louisiana Tech 93-75. Volunteers three-peat, completing an undefeated season of 39-0. In 1999, the 61st NCAA Men's Basketball Championship is held. Connecticut beats Duke 77-74, the Huskies' first title in the first title game. And that was my half-assed sports report. When we come back, we're going to go across the lines with the Toronto sports teams of the NHL, the MLB, and the NBA. We'll be back after these messages. In today's birthdays, happy 44th birthday to American tennis player Jennifer Capriati. Xena, the warrior princess Lucy Lawless, New Zealand actress, turns 52 today. Australian model and actress Elle Macpherson is 56 today. American actress and comedian Amy Sedaris turns 59. American singer and songwriter of the bands Jane's Addiction and Porno for Pyros, Perry Farrell turns 61 today. American football player Earl Campbell is 65. American basketball player and sportscaster Walt Frazier is 75. English actor and comedian of the Monty Python group Eric Idle is 77 today. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. You know what that means, right? You pay nothing. It's free 99. It's a free app that you put on your phone, and it lets you go from there. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Check out Anchor.
They say, you know, Rasta this, Rasta that. And then, you know, they come across me like Colb be a monster, you know. He come way, way below from the bungalow. You know, don't try him, you'll be a waste man. The body not the thing to him, no.
It's the Reaperman, it's the Reaperman. I know why these niggas weeping in a reefer. Yeah. The devil in your face. That piece up on your waist. Let's get it. Give me my flowers before my final hour. Man, you live in peace before you rest in power. Yeah, I hope I die a hero before I live a coward. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm smoking plenty sour. These hoes will fuck you over for a couple dollars. Pockets got a knot like a bag of wobbin'. All this queen on me, son ain't got no collar. The vibes I'm giving off is such a panty dropper. Make her pop it something proper, or unveiling vodka. I'm like lobby in your life while it's getting hotter. Yeah, my daddy raised the diners while your daughter bopper. If I ever had beef, I chop it with a chopper, or I be the postman. Call up Kevin Costner. Dog all these hoes like a boy a Hoya. Yo, I throw him to the cake, me no Betty Crocker. Lie good like a lawyer, secrets in the locker. Walking peace, I know a God and my mother's father. If a cup have a handle, serve it with the salsa. I need that ass fat waist snatch, Mrs. Calder. I need that ass fat waist snatch, Mrs. Calder. I told you, yeah. Thought a nigga told you. Meet you in the lot, then the nigga smoke you. You don't want no problem. You don't want no problem. Why stick and move with a couple guys? Mr. Reaperman, Mr. Reaperman. I know why these niggas weepin', ain't no reefer fam. I got tension in my back cause I ain't sleeping slim. I got vision being free and still pay Uncle Sam. Mr. Reaperman, Mr. Reaperman. I know why these niggas weepin', ain't no reefer fam. I got tension in my back cause I ain't sleeping slim. I got vision being free and still pay Uncle Sam. Let's get it. Greet me like a king, bitch, bow and kiss. Royal cloth, Gucci slips. Hotel suites, Maybach lips. One-on-ones, nigga. Classic shit. Tell your girl I'm on some nasty ish. Bite her butt while I squeeze her tits. I say pilots even when I'm nappy. I got goons all up in my family. I don't think they understand me. Treat me like I'm Stanley. R.I.P. the Nets, bone nigga, and my daddy. You, I think about him daily, boy, I miss him badly. You the sunshine, dim is different in the valley. Loud bag flight trips, your only piece to happen. Yo, the college keep ballin', got a healthy granny. Yo, I just want the money, y'all can have the Grammy. Kill shrooms and bracket all up in my salad. Eat a little pussy so my diet balance. Clean the whole plate, yo, fuck on that. Mr. Reaperman, Mr. Reaperman. I know why these niggas weepin', ain't no reefer fam. I got tension in my back cause I ain't sleeping slim. I got vision being free and still pay Uncle Sam. Mr. Reaperman, Mr. Reaperman. I know why these niggas weepin', ain't no reefer fam. I got tension in my back cause I ain't sleeping slim. I got vision being free and still pay Uncle Sam. Let's get it. Why? Let's get it.
Inshallah, man, kalau mau yang semua kau yang marah, you know, kau ya.
And a special mention to those no longer with us. This past Thursday, we lost Curly Neal, who was an American basketball player who played with the Harlem Globetrotters. Born Frederick Neal, May 19, 1942 in Greensboro, North Carolina, he became the Trotters' featured ball handler, a key role in the team's exhibition act. He attended James B. Dudley High School and Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina from 1959 to 1963. At Smith, he averaged 23.1 points a game and was named All-Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association guard. Neal played for 22 seasons from 1963 to 1985 with the Globetrotters, appearing in more than 6,000 games in 97 countries. His shaved head earned him his nickname, a reference to the Three Stooges' Curly Howard, and made him one of the most recognizable Globetrotters. In the 1970s, an animated version of Neal starred with various other Globetrotters in the Hanna-Barbera animated cartoon Harlem Globetrotters, as well as its spin-off The Super Globetrotters. The animated Globetrotters also made 3 appearances in the new Scooby-Doo movies. Neal himself appeared with Meadowlark Lemon, Marcus Haynes, and his other fellow Globetrotters in a live-action Saturday morning TV show, The Harlem Globetrotters Popcorn Machine, in 1974 to 1975, which also featured Rodney Allen Rippey and Avery Schreiber. Neal also appeared in The White Shadow, The Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island, and The Love Boat. On January 11, 2008, the Globetrotters announced that Neal's number 22 would be retired on February 15 in a special ceremony at Madison Square Garden as part of Curly Neal Weekend. Neal was just the 5th Globetrotter in the team's 82-year history to have his number retired, joining Wilt Chamberlain, Meadowlark Lemon, Marcus Haynes, and Goose Tatum. On January 31, 2008, it was announced that Neal would be inducted into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame. He was also granted the Harlem Globetrotters' prestigious Legends Ring, which is presented to those who make major humanitarian contributions and work for the Harlem Globetrotters organization. A mural commemorating Neal's achievements, both as a Globetrotter and during his time at Dudley High School, is painted in the basketball gym of the Hayes Taylor Memorial, YMCA at 1101 East Market Street in Greensboro, North Carolina. He had 2 daughters, Raquel and Laverne Neal, and 6 grandchildren, David, Dante, Jaden, Brandon, Deja, and Haley. Neal lived in Houston with his fiancée Linda Ware until his death. On March 26, 2020, Neal died at his home outside Houston at the age of 77. Rest in paradise. The 1918 Stanley Cup Finals was contested by the National Hockey League champion Toronto and the Pacific Coast Hockey Association champion Vancouver Millionaires. In a series held entirely in Toronto, the Toronto team won the series by 3-2 in the best-of-5-game series to win the Stanley Cup. It was the first series contested by the new NHL and subsequently the first Stanley Cup win by the Toronto NHL franchise team. That following year in the 1919 Stanley Cup Finals, no champion was declared. The series was canceled after 5 games had been played due to an outbreak of the Spanish flu. It was the only time in history of the Stanley Cup that it was not awarded due to a no decision after playoffs were held. And that leads us to Across the Lines.
He would step across the line. Habitually, he's a habitual line stepper.
Line stepper.
Hosting the series in Seattle was the Pacific Coast Hockey Association champion Seattle Metropolitans, playing off against the National Hockey League champion Montreal Canadiens. Both teams had won 2 games, lost 2, and tied 1 before health officials were forced to cancel the deciding game of the series. Most of the Canadiens players and their manager George Kennedy fell ill with the flu and were hospitalized, leaving only 3 healthy players. The flu would claim the life of Canadiens defenseman Joe Hall 4 days later. Kennedy was permanently weakened by his illness and had led to his death a few years later. The 6th and deciding game of the series was scheduled for April 1st, but an outbreak of influenza caused several players on both teams to become seriously ill. Several Montreal Canadiens hospitalized or sick in bed with fevers between 101 and 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Game 6 was canceled just 5.5 hours before it was scheduled to start. Kennedy said he was forfeiting the cup to Seattle, but Pete Muldoon, manager-coach of the Metropolitans, refused to accept the cup in forfeiture, seeing that it was catastrophic illness that had caused the Canadiens lineup to be short of players. Kennedy asked to use players from the Victoria team of the PCHA, but President Frank Patrick refused the request. 4 days later, Joe Hall died of pneumonia, brought about by the flu. His funeral was held in Vancouver on April 8th, with most team members attending, and he was buried in Brandon, Manitoba. Manager George Kennedy was also stricken. His condition declined, and his wife arrived from Montreal to be with him. He seemed to recover and was released from the hospital, but he never fully recovered, and he died a few years later. No official Stanley Cup winner was declared in 1919, and thus nothing was engraved onto the trophy. However, when the cup was redesigned in 1948 and a new collar was added to include those teams that did not engrave their names on the trophy themselves, the following was added: 1919, Montreal Canadiens, Seattle Metropolitans, series not completed. The 1993 World Series was the 90th edition of the Fall Classic. The best-of-7 series played between the defending champions and American League champions Toronto Blue Jays and the National League champion Philadelphia Phillies. The Blue Jays defeated the Phillies 4-2, with Toronto ahead 3-2 in the series, but trailing Game 6 by a score of 6-5 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Joe Carter hit a game-winning 3-run home run to clinch Toronto's 2nd consecutive championship. This was only the 2nd series concluded by such a home run. The first was in the 1960 World Series on a Bill Mazeroski home run for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the first such occasion where a come-from-behind walk-off home run won a World Series. It was only the 2nd time in MLB history that a World Series was not played in a given season, the first being in 1904. This was the 8th work stoppage in baseball history, as well as the 4th in-season work stoppage in 22 years. The strike began on August 12, 1994, and resulted in the remainder of that season and postseason. The strike was suspended on April 2, 1995, after 232 days, making it the longest such stoppage in MLB history and the longest work stoppage in Major League professional sports at the time, breaking the record set by the 1981 strike. Its length would be surpassed by the 2004-2005 NHL lockout, which ran for 310 days and caused the cancellation of that league's entire 2004-05 season. 948 games were canceled in all, and MLB became first major professional sports league to lose an entire postseason due to labor struggles. Due to the strike, both the 1994 and 1995 seasons were not played to a complete 162 games. The strike was called after most teams had played at least 113 games in 1994. Each team played 144 games in 1995. The 2019 NBA Finals was a best-of-7 series held from May 30th through June 13, 2019, featuring the Eastern Conference champion Toronto Raptors defeating the Western Conference champion Golden State Warriors 4-2, earning the franchise's first NBA championship, as well as the first win by a team based outside the United States. Acquired by the Raptors via a trade during the offseason, Kawhi Leonard was named the NBA Finals Most Valuable Player for the second time in his career. Fast forward to this year's NBA season, which began on October 22, 2019, but was suspended on March 11, 2020. The playoffs were scheduled to begin on April 18, 2020, and end with the NBA Finals in June of 2020. The league suspended the season on March 11, 2020 as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Moral of the story, let's not allow Toronto to get an NFL team. And that was Across the Lines. Today in entertainment history, in 1932, Jack Benny debuts on radio on Ed Sullivan's New York interview program. In 1976, the 48th Academy Awards airs. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest wins big, with Jack Nicholson and Louise Fletcher each getting an award. 1978, The Carol Burnett Show last airs on CBS in the U.S., having won 25 Emmy Awards. In 1982, the 54th Academy Awards airs, with Chariots of Fire winning big, Henry Fonda and Katharine Hepburn each getting an award. In 1987, WrestleMania 3, Pontiac Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan. 93,173 are in attendance. Hulk Hogan successfully defends his WWF heavyweight title against Andre the Giant. And the slam heard around the world. 1989, the 61st Academy Awards airs. Rain Man wins big with Dustin Hoffman and Jodie Foster each getting an award. 1993, the 65th Academy Awards are aired. Unforgiven wins Best Picture, Al Pacino wins Best Actor, and Emma Thompson wins Best Actress. In 1998, WrestleMania 14 is held at the Fleet Center in Boston, Massachusetts. Stone Cold Steve Austin wins his first WWF heavyweight title against Shawn Michaels. Stone Cold! Stone Cold! And in 2015, WrestleMania 31 is held at Levi's Stadium, Santa Clara, California. Seth Rollins beats Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns in an impromptu triple threat match to capture the WWE heavyweight title. Now, this portion of the show is where we show appreciation to our haters. Hi, haters.
You want to talk some shit?
Yo, Donald, heard you sending out that bag. Heard you sending out that 1,200. 1,200, I wanted it all in one. Come up with that shit, run that shit, nigga. You don't need to tell me to stay away from people. I've been doing that. Fuck people, and fuck you too, nigga. I want all my coins. My shit better be in the mail tomorrow. President Tiny Dick Little Hands. Ain't fucking with you. Or Hank Hill's dad of a vice president. Cotton Hill. Fuck the coronavirus. We drink Crown anyway over here, cuz. that shit to Kevin Durant, BB, Tom Hanks' wife, Idris Elba's wife, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell. If Portia from Real Housewives get this, you got hell to pay, nigga. And I'm on your head. Now come up with that bag. Thank you, Donald Trump. Fuck you, Donald Trump.
So that wraps up another edition of Over the Culture podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's remember to keep our hands clean, our bodies clean. Wash our hands, wash our ass. Let's continue practicing this social distancing, this quarantining for as long as we have to. More importantly, stay the fuck out of my face. No handshakes, no daps, just head nods from across the street, from down the way. Y'all be easy.
Ohio.